Shams bomb? This better actually be a bomb. I'm going straight to the desk. This better actually be a fucking bomb.
Heard he has been unwilling to me to confirm, but league sources tell me that the San Antonio Spurs are De'Aaron Fox's perfect.
I'm the source now. Well, Cleveland Cavaliers star Darius Garland underwent surgery to repair a great toe injury and will be sidelined approximately 4 to 5 months. Damn. So Garland will probably miss the start of the next season. So surgery. This was bugging him during the playoffs. He missed games in the playoffs because of that. Yeah. Hey, Darius, if you need help, if you just need somebody to help out, if you need like a physical therapy buddy, like I'm here for you, brother. Just let me know. Right? Let me know. I'm here for you. That's got to be that's a significant toe injury then. So that's, wow, 4 to 5 months. I mean, that does cut into next season for him. And it's kind of interesting because Darius Garland's name has actually popped up recently. I don't know if this toe injury necessarily changes that. I'd have to say I doubt it, but this was from Windhorse. I think there's some belief, this was a few days ago, to be fair. I think there's some belief that Darius Garland might be available under the right circumstances. I think the Cavs are listening and open-minded. Windhorse said this June 5th, so 5 days ago. So nothing too new or anything like that. It's kind of been this weird tug-of-war thing with the Cavs and Garland, at least just from like some reporting and the slop side of things, because he was in trade talks after the Donovan Mitchell trade. Then he had the bad year last year that was destroyed by injuries. And then his name was in, rumors like, should they trade Darius Garland, build around Donovan Mitchell? You can't have both of them. Then he had an all-star year this year. Now he has this toe injury. I wonder if some of that's just enough for Cleveland to be like, all right, let's just, if we can get like some solid role players in return, it might be worth our while to listen to Darius Garland trades. I think that'd be the stupidest shit in the world, to be honest with you. Why didn't he get surgery after they got eliminated? Maybe he didn't want to be moved in the offseason. I mean, they were probably trying they were probably trying physical therapy. They were probably trying to not get surgery, going that route. And then they must have just decided recently that, it was in their best interest just to get the surgery. You see that happen from time to time where guys will have surgery as a last resort. Let's try all of our other options. And then if it doesn't get better, then we take the surgery. And, missing a couple weeks in the start of the season is not that big of a deal. But we also, we've seen this. We've seen this with players all the time coming into the season off of an injury, right? Coming into the season off of an injury where you didn't really have training camp, you didn't have the offseason to, get your body right, get your conditioning right, work on your bag or anything like that, is, the guys usually have down years after that. If your toe is injured bad enough to need surgery, you should not have played on it. It's crazy pressure teams and fans put on players. Well, to be fair, players put that on themselves as well. Like if any of these guys, you played sports at any level, like you're going to try to play through shit. Whenever I broke my ankle, I tried to finish the game. No, I'm just joking. But these guys want to play through stuff. That's what the training staff is there for. That's one of their biggest jobs, is to save the player from themselves. That's one of the biggest jobs of a training staff. Tell the player, your ass can't play. I know you want to. I know you want us to tape it up. I know whatever. You want us to shoot you up with something. That ain't happening. You're not playing. Mavs training staff did good at that. Yeah. Mavs training staff, top of the fucking world. Now, do you think not playing on a broken ankle kept your trade value up slightly? Yeah, for sure. I think teams will look at my recovery time, 10 weeks, be back by the start of next season. And in some ways, right, they'll look at my resolve. They'll look at my resolve and they'll say, that's somebody we want on our team. The Cavs tried to get Jared Allen to inject painkiller for his bad rib injury. So what now? Does this change the dynamic at all for them, for the Cavs? Because they've had just some interesting, in my opinion, they should just run it back this season. Maybe next year you have to start making some tough decisions, but just run it back this season. You won 60 games. Yeah, you flamed out in the playoffs, but you can attribute that to a bunch of different things. You won 60 games. You're an incredible team. The Celtics, you could damn near write them off next year. I don't get why you need to make changes. I really don't. I'm not sure why there's this need to trade Jared Allen or trade Darius Garland. Cooper Flagg seen training at the sand dunes of Little Elm Beach. He made his way to Little Elm Beach? Hell yeah. That's a hidden gem in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. I don't know if you guys are aware of it. Little Elm Beach. Yeah. Look how beautiful that is. I actually saw an article recently. It was just kind of ranking like the best beaches in the world. And Hawaii was number one, obviously. You had the Amalfi Coast, just like the best like ocean areas, beach areas was number two. And this was actually number three in the article. I don't remember who published it, but yeah, I mean, look at it. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. There's something so funny about Out of Context Slightly Biased because someone's watching this on the Clips channel, this video about Darius Garland, and just saw Dana White's bald head pop up for no reason. Just saw Dana White's bald head pop up. And there's really no context that even really makes sense. How is that a beach? You've clearly never been to Little Elm Beach. That's fine. It's actually invite only. So what does a Darius Garland trade? What does a Darius Garland trade even look like? I'm looking at Fanspo, and it's all Darius Garland to the Magic. That would be nice. Mavs get Garland, Lakers get Gafford, Cavs get PJ, Najee, Reeves, 2029 Lakers pick. You're fucking cooking. And look, food review, you're just going to have to trust me. I was cooking up something very similar today. I was cooking up something very similar. But also, that's like a... So I think if the Cavs were to do something like that, if they were to decide for whatever reason that they're going to trade and kind of blow this thing up, I really doubt they'd trade both, right? I really doubt they would trade two of their guys. Unless they're just like, really, this team's not... Lakers not giving up Reeves or Gafford straight up. If they did, we should just trade for Reeves. That's actually an interesting point. But the difference there would be Garland's under contract and you're going to have to pay Reeves next season, and Reeves is going to be an unrestricted free agent. So you do have like a legit flight risk. I mean, if we're just going to use the Mavs as an example, honest to God, low key, I think the Mavs could actually put something together that's somewhat interesting. I think the Mavs could put together a somewhat interesting package for Garland. But the thing that complicates that for the Mavs, like and then send Caleb Martin to the Nets or some shit. Like, the thing that complicates stuff for the Mavs is I'm not sure Garland and Kyrie's good together. Just not sure defensively that makes sense. But he's still young enough that's like, all right, that's our point guard forever. Does this work financially? The Mavs would still have to get off some money. The Mavs would still have to get off some money. Cut Omex. So, and then the Mavs would certainly have to add draft picks to this. Is that something that would interest you guys? I think if you added draft picks, I don't think this is really that bad for Cleveland. I have to be honest with you. If they're going to trade Darius Garland, because you're getting like two really rock solid role players. PJ can start for you immediately. You have a really good backup center, which is something that could make Jared Allen expendable. If we aggregate players, I think we have to get off more money. Yeah. They would. They'd have to get off more money in this deal. The Mavericks bringing back Kessler Edwards. I know that's the news everyone's kind of waiting on. The Giannis update. Where's KD going to go? I know Kessler Edwards is up there as well. I'm not sure yet. That's just something that we'll have to wait and see about. I think a lot of the league's moves, why it kind of feels really quiet right now. One, we're not in the offseason yet technically, but why it feels really quiet right now is the league is sort of waiting to see where Kessler Edwards ends up. Then I think you'll start to see other moves that sort of piggyback off of that. You think Mavs will go for a top-level point guard or try to manage with role players? I think they're going to try to manage with role players. But if the Cavs call them about Garland, I don't know. Maybe they listen. Maybe there's something there. No, but everyone I've seen with Darius Garland is Garland to the Magic, which what can the Magic offer? Honestly, do the Magic have any? What's this one? Darius Garland goes to the Mavs. What do the Mavs give up? Mavs get Darius Garland for who? PJ, Dwight Powell, and 1 first? And Klay Thompson? Hell yeah! Hell yeah. Would you trade away 500 subscribers for a championship? 500? Yes. I mean, there's no way. Like, there's no way in fuck Cleveland or the Magic do this, right? Franz for Garland? Like, no chance. KCP, Cole Anthony, Jed Howard. I mean, is that like? That's horrible. That's actually terrible for Cleveland. That's such a terrible trade. Like, you're just keeping him at that point, right? Surely. Magic, I mean, surely they have some more interesting role guys, right? I don't even know what to make of Jonathan Isaac at this point. Suggs, I kept seeing like, someone's like, and the Cavs would not entertain Suggs for Garland. Yeah, because that's just like a weird trade. I don't really get that from Cleveland's side. That makes no sense to me. Honest to God, if the Mavs, if Darius Garland were available, the Mavs could get there, I think. The Mavs could get there. Gafford and PJ is pretty fucking good for a team that still wants to contend. Mavs have such good offers that teams that want to compete. Yeah, it's why I've said it and I still believe it. I think the Mavs had the best possible offer for KD, but they're not going to go for KD. Like the best realistic offer. Now that is the interesting one. If it's PJ, Gafford, and probably a pick, maybe a swap, I'm not sure. Probably a pick, maybe a swap, and then parting ways with other salaries for Garland. Is that something Mavs fans would want? It's interesting. Especially if you feel like, I don't know if we can keep Gaff. I don't know if we can keep PJ with whatever money they want. I think Cavs get more for Garland. Well, it would depend on what they want, right? Like the Magic. Yeah, the Magic would be all over Darius Garland. But what does that trade even look like for them? Now, maybe it's a 3-team trade. Suggs goes somewhere else. That could happen. I could see that. Suggs goes elsewhere. That's too much for an undersized, injury-prone, non-elite guard. That's the other thing, too, is I think maybe we're overvaluing Darius Garland. Probably a little bit. Ivy trade, Lakers, Gafford, Pistons, PJ, Gabe Vincent, Christie, Lakers 26 first, Lakers second, Lakers 29 first from Dallas. And then the Mavs get Ivy, Fontecchio, Sasser, and Jordan Goodwin. So the Pistons are getting PJ, Gabe Vincent, Max Christie. That's a lot for the Mavs to give up. And I like Jaden Ivey, but that's a lot. That's a whole lot. Is Allen Garland enough for Giannis? Oh, if Giannis is going to get traded, that is. Now the Cavs are a second apron team currently, so I don't know how that would work. Mavs becoming clutch client central. I could see Garland. I don't know. I don't get why the Cavs, unless they're like, we need to save money. This team's not it. Let's break it up a little bit. I don't see the benefit of trading these guys right now. And I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Toe injury that might have him out a few weeks to start the season is enough to like tank his value in any way that's significant. But even then, I don't really understand. I don't really get it.